Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NuttieBuddie Sports. I'm your host, Ryan, and on today's clip, we are going to talk about this trade. The Atlanta Hawks trade 3 first-round picks, including a pick swap, and Gallinari for Dejounte Murray. What a big trade it was yesterday, leading into free agency, which I believe starts today. My time at 5 o'clock, I think in Eastern time, 6 o'clock. So it's going to be a big, I think, news day. So we'll see if I have time to make a couple video clips. But anyway, that's not why you guys are here. You guys are just here to hear my thoughts on Dejounte Murray going to the Hawks. So I'm going to take it from both teams' side. I'm going to first look at Atlanta side, why this trade makes sense. What are the pros? What are the cons? And then I'm going to go to the Spurs side. So let's focus on the Atlanta Hawks side real quick. So they get Dejounte Murray. Now, Dejounte Murray, I actually like this fit a lot. And before this trade happened, I was thinking, well, what player would fit at a guard position next to Trae Young nicely? And I thought of Brogdon. John Collins was on the trade rumor mill. He kind of still is. I thought Brogdon, the Pacers needed a power forward. Brogdon is a really good defensive center. He's a top 5 guard in defense, but I think Murray is going to be a better fit with Trae Young than Brogdon would have been. And I'm really surprised the Spurs sort of gave up on him. Not really gave up, but we'll talk about what they did, what their plans are probably going to be moving forward. But with Dejounte Murray, he is still one of the better defensive guards in the league. He averages about 2 steals a game. But what blows my mind about him is he actually had a really good year last year. He had 21 points, almost 10 assists, and 8 rebounds a game. So the pros are this: you put a guard that plays defense next to Trae Young. He's long. I think he has like a 6'9" wingspan, and he'll be able to defend, which I think is the most important part. If you're going to build around Trae Young, you have to have a bunch of defensive players around him. So that's one big positive for the Hawks getting Dejounte Murray. The other positive is that Murray can handle the basketball. This will help Trae Young be able to play off the ball. Now, he has to want to. You know, we always say about some of these elite players, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, those 2 players come to mind. Like when they go to certain situations, they can play off the ball now. They can set screens. They can do this. They can do that. And they usually don't, because it's hard to get out of habits that you have been in for basketball. You know, when you're playing basketball, when you've been doing something in the NBA for 8, 10, 13 years, it's hard to break that habit. It really is. But Murray's 25. So, and Trae Young, I think, has only been in the league for like 3 years. So I think they both can learn to play off of each other really well. Like I mentioned, Murray averaged 9.2 assists a game. So he will be able to help relieve pressure off of Trae Young offensively, get others involved, including Trae Young, and maybe even Trae Young will not have to work so hard for his shots all the time. He doesn't have to ISO every single time. So I really like this trade for the Hawks. Now, there is a con. He only shot about 32% from 3 last year. So he has to continue to improve his shot. And him being 6'4", instead of someone maybe like 6'6", 6'7", alongside of him, ideally the perfect player alongside of Trae Young is somebody, you know, like you have Trae Young who's 6 foot, and then you surround him with a bunch of 6'7", 6'8", and taller defenders. I think that will be a little bit, it could be a little bit of a problem, even though Murray's a really good defensive guard. I do think that could come back to haunt them. because he's only 6'4", because it doesn't matter how well and how hard you try on defense. Eventually size does matter, right? So it will be interesting. This is sort of like their all in move. They're showing their hand. They're going all in this season. And I don't think this is the only move the Atlanta Hawks are going to do. I really think that the Atlanta Hawks are also going to move John Collins. I was trying to think of other trades. Rudy Gobert was rumored to be someone the Hawks were interested in, but that would be more like a Capella, unless if you traded John Collins to Utah and you send Capella to Phoenix, and you take on Gobert because Ayton's probably not going to stay in Phoenix. There's something they can do still with John Collins. Again, last year, when you think about their roster, I think one thing that really hurt their team, and people I don't think appreciate this not enough, when you have 12 players that can play basketball, it is hard to get a good rotation in, because some players need to play more than 10 minutes a game to get into a rhythm. Some players need to know when they're playing, how long they're going to play. And they had a pretty deep roster last year. So this trade was just a 1-for-1 in a sense. You only got rid of one player to gain one player. So I wonder what is the other big domino for this team to drop? Is it going to be a 2-for-1, a 3-for-1? I think something's going to happen with the Hawks. I don't think they're done, but this is a very good first move for the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, now let's start talking a little bit about, this guy. It's not on the right side of my screen. So this is Victor. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Wembanyama. This is why the Spurs make the trade they do. This guy right here. I wish I had a better picture. Sorry, guys, if you're watching this, but he's 7'2". He's supposed to play like he's 6'8". He's widely regarded by most every draft expert to be the top pick next year in the NBA draft. And I think what we're seeing here is the Spurs they're starting the tanking process for Victor, which is kind of a smart move. If you're not going to be a great player, right? If you're not going to be like, not a great player, but a great team, a team that's really contending. If you're still going to be a bottom 10 team, they're starting the race off real nicely. I think OKC kind of did during the draft when you think about all the players that they picked up, but because they're all project players, most of them, Chet, he'll take some time to grow, but the same with the Spurs. The Spurs are really leaning in to going after this guy in the first round. And I think you're going to see a number of teams do that. They're all going to be staying with their young players, letting their young players grow. They're going to be there to take on Cap. And I think we're going to see roughly 8 to 10 teams sort of tank for Victor, and these other teams that are trying to win now, they're going to be able to reap the benefits of the other teams because only one team can get them. And so the Spurs are going to throw their hat into the race. They got Gallinari. I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually gets traded somewhere else, but we'll see more than just the Spurs make this move. They now have a protected pick from Charlotte. Let's see here. I want to get this right. In 2023, so that's next year. And then they got an unprotected 2025 pick, a pick swap for 2026, and then another unprotected pick in 2027 from the Atlanta Hawks. So I really like what the Spurs did, because if you're not going to compete for championships, if your roster isn't there, if it's middling or like in that, 9 to 13 range, it's best, and you're not growing, it's best to just tank. It's best to go after these young prospects that can change your franchise. And it sounds like Victor is going to be one of those guys who'll be able to change a franchise. But again, with 8 to 10 teams that might be tanking, and that might be a little high, to be fair. Only one team can get them. So it will be interesting to see how this tanking for Victor will proceed throughout the year. Anyway, that's all I got for you on this trade. I would give, if I was graded, I don't really do grades. I guess if I would grade it, I would say, I think it's thumbs up for both teams. So like A for the Spurs, A- for the Hawks. I just have a little questions about like Murray shooting from, outside shooting, his 3-point shot. And if that team's going to be defensively, even though Murray's a good defender, putting him next to Trey, that means he now has to guard the best perimeter player all the time. So we'll just see about that. But overall, good trade for both teams. Really like it. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and comment below. Comment below. Tell me what you thought of this trade. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.